Something awful happened. I don't like talking about it. Every time I talk about it, the story comes out different anyway. You want to know why? I'll tell you why. It's because she keeps changing the story in my head. You see, she has this ability to manipulate what I think. Doesn't make sense, I bet you'll tell me. No, it doesn't. Nothing makes sense anymore. Nothing makes sense ever since I met her. She's turned my life upside down. Now I'm tumbling. Now things are moving before my eyes very fast. I feel sick. I feel anxious. Yet I'm tired all at the same time. It's kind of like walls are closing in. Like the world shrinking. I do remember still when I first met her. This is strange, but you'll just have to shut up and listen. She came from the moon. Yeah, that's right. She rode down on the light of the moon. She enjoyed blending into the shadows of our world at night. She knows what we're all thinking. She's this kind of omnipotent. She built a house on our world by using materials of our dreams. It's a black house. I've seen it. I've been inside it. But that part comes later. First, let me tell you what happened. What made the nightmare come true. I used to go on walks every night down this dirt road by the woods. On a full moon night, I saw her. She stood between some trees. She was beautiful then. Her hair was the color of the moonlight. Hoary, but it cascaded down her back so luxuriantly, so lusciously. Her face shone goldenly back then. Her body was clad in a billowing black dress. I cannot express her beauty completely to you, but it filled me with a quixotic delight. I nearly burst with delight when I saw her. She told me to come unto her, and I did. She embraced me. Her arms back then were warm. They radiated with that golden light. Every night for a week I went to see her. She did not speak out loud. Her voice was in my head. I know you think that makes me crazy, because her voice was in my head. But it doesn't. That's just how she communicated. She transferred her thoughts into mine. Now listen. Her voice in my head would tell me things like, "You should let me nestle in your brain, Gordon. I could build wonderful things in here, Gordon." Oh, Lordy, you don't understand the pleasures she provided. My head was numbed of all pain at that time. It felt like my head was glowing. "Let me build my house in your mind," she had said. "Let me get settled. Let me build you dreams, Gordon." And she did. Oh, she was so wondrous. She was a piece of heaven back then, I swear it. She built me this big castle, all for myself. There was this big room in it where I could invite all my friends and we'd have a big banquet. The food was extravagant. A giant turkey on a golden plate in the center of the table. Golden plates filled with the freshest fruit of every kind. Wine that was her own blood. Yes, every day that beautiful woman. She'd bleed herself for me and all my friends in my castle. She said she was willing to sacrifice for me. You see, she wasn't greedy at all. She built this tiny, dilapidated, dark house for herself. She let me have the grand castle, while she secluded herself in this drab, grungy house full of shadows. Sometimes I had felt sorry for her, so I invited her to my castle to dine with me and all my friends. For a while it was wonderful. She met all of them. I never realized that she was getting jealous. How could I? She never gave me any signs that she was. Look, don't tell me that I'm blind or an imbecile. You wouldn't have been able to tell either. Every day she showed up, her smile was gleaming like a sunspot. On the outside, she seemed happier than ever. I was wrong. My God, I was. One day she sent her thoughts to me, while all my friends were leaving the castle. This is what she told me. "You don't like me anymore, do you, Gordon? You would rather be with your friends, even though I gave you this grand castle. I don't ask for much, Gordon. I gave you all this and I still choose to isolate myself in that black, cold house. Why, Gordon? I don't like how they laugh at me. I don't like how their eyes pierce me scornfully. I'm going to do something so I don't have to endure their scornful faces. You'll see tomorrow." I didn't know how to reply. I had felt dejected. Things got worse the next day when my friends showed up to the castle. At first I thought they were wearing masks. I laughed and told them to take them off. I was struck with fear when they responded to me with garbled, incomprehensible words. And no, they weren't wearing masks. Their faces were now shifting, blurry blotches. It was horrid. I felt utterly dejected and outraged. Why would she do such a thing to me? I hadn't believed what she said to me the day before had been what she really was going to do. I just thought she was a little upset by my friends. I had planned on discussing this with my friends, but she just didn't give me the time. I went to her house, and this is when matters turned very bad. I started to think I had made a mistake by letting her nestle in my mind. That's when I started to think I was crazy. But I'm not. It's her. She wants to hurt me. She wants to for no good reason at all. Her house is so dark and lonesome. There's this grandfather clock against the far wall. It ticks enduringly. It's like the heart of the house. There are these chairs lined up on both sides of the grandfather clock, upholstered in green velvet. I've seen these things before. My parents used to own them in their home. You see, she made use of all my memories in order to build her house. That grandfather clock my father used to wind every Sunday morning. Those green velvet chairs used to sit at the dining room table. I bet if I went through the rest of the house, I'd find all kinds of things that were once a part of my life. But I didn't. I dared not to. She sat in the farthest chair. There was something different about her now, too. She no longer shone with the golden opulence. Her body was all hoary now and shriveled. Her face was as pale as moonlight. Her smile was now a faded yellow. Her legs were crossed and one dangling foot swayed back and forth simultaneously to the ticking of the clock. I don't know what that means. It's like she was counting down something. A bomb, perhaps. A bomb in my brain. I ran out the door and a bottomless pit waited for me. If I would have dreamed forever, I would have fallen forever. Thank God I woke up. At the bottom of the pit, I saw her face. It was smiling, exposing those crooked yellow teeth. Teeth that ailed me. Teeth that were stained with vile death. You don't understand. Nobody will understand. You laugh. It's a joke to you. Why do you make my world so much smaller? Your laughter is walls closing around me. You box me in with laughter. Your laughter is shrill and painful in my ears. You're cruel and don't even care. Why? It's because she's invaded all of your minds. She's invaded everyone. She's using all of you as tools to torture me with. She's like this grotesque, slithering thing in my brain. She's able to fit in all the nooks and crannies, get in the small places where she can destroy precious things. I made the fatal mistake of accepting her. But no, you see, her love was just bait for her trap. If you open your mind to love her, it opens up all other channels of your mind. Disguised as love, she invades all those channels. When she's got them all, and you're drunk on love, she then tears them to pieces. She wreaks havoc. She's inhuman. She's a beast. No, you don't understand, you tools, you fiendish puppets of wretched destruction. She's using you to get to me. She's using you to torture me. Box me in with your laughter, why don't you? Box me in, corner me, and bully me with your laughter. She laughs through you, you imbecilic fiends. I'm not crazy. She's just making me seem crazy. It's a front she's using to motivate all of you to laugh. My friends and I were all sitting in the castle dining room. She was there too, sitting at the far end, staring at me with those grimy, piercing eyes. She transferred her thoughts to me. Oh, I'm so happy. I feel so much joy, relief. These people eating with us, they have their masks on. They don't glare at me with the painful, scornful truth. Their blurry masks keep the monster hidden. More awful things happened. She suddenly took off my friends' masks, and what I saw terrified me. I couldn't look. I covered my eyes so I wouldn't have to. All my friends' faces had been transformed. They all looked like the old woman version of her. Shriveled heads, matted gray hair, yellow and sightly teeth. I begged for her to put the masks back on, and she did. Now you see what I mean, her voice filled my head. The masks are good. They hide the painful truth of the monster that hides inside of everyone, malevolent and wanting to hurt. Who is the old woman? Is she you? I had asked. All she did was laugh at me, a god-awful, shrill, high-pitched cackling. I feel so helpless. There's no one that can help me. She's inside of everyone. I never hear the thoughts of the beautiful younger version of her anymore. I don't know why. She used to talk to me, but now she won't. I plead with her sometimes. I try to understand her. She just laughs, is all. Laughter that echoes throughout my mind and shakes my brain to bleeding pieces. Yes, my brain rips and shreds. Blood gushes with each individual chuckle. Good God, what's the use, because you won't understand. You are her, she is you. Your laughter is lines of soldiers in her ghastly army. You march in to compress my mind, tear it to shreds. She is at the crank. You are the sharp spikes piercing my mind, cutting thoughts to shreds, making them bleed. So then I can't find them. Then things get dark. I think I'm fading. I hope I'm fading. The dark sounds nice, maybe. In the dark, the monster can't be seen. The monster that never changes. The monster that is still hidden even when it's seen. Help me, God. What's the use? God may not hear me. My voice is now hers, and her voice is garbled and incoherent. Still, I'll shout at the darkness. I'll shout because I know not what else to do. Help me not to see. Help me not to breathe.